will be your spokesman here today and go through the seminar with you. So at this point, again, I want to thank you all for being here. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I'll see you shortly. Meantime, I'm going to turn this over to Craig.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I want to tell you from the beginning, I'm not a salesman. I'm a businessman. That's what I've been doing for, like I said, 20 some odd years, and I've been working around the world, about 64 different countries doing disaster relief and humanitarian aid. And our whole purpose was to help people in disaster situations, whether it's poverty. We did things from water wells, feeding programs, orphanages, whatever it was. We worked 64 different countries just trying to get people from suffering to significance. And Bill's right. I retired from my business and thought I was going to relax. I've known the Central family for quite a while. And when I found out that they were doing this, I got excited. See, my sister had a timeshare. She had several timeshares for 15 years. I know how she grieved over it, how she tried to get out of it for years and years. And when Bill told me he was doing this, I said, I want in. I'm in. You know, it's just another disaster in people's lives. So, from my opinion, from the start, let's tell you, I have no patience for timeshare. Maybe you do, and I understand. I have no patience for it because I see what it does to people. I see what it did to my sister, and I don't like it. So my goal is to make sure that I do everything I can to help people get out of that. In fact, I'm going to tell you from the beginning that the first thing that you need to hear from me that's important is that when I'm done talking today, you'll have the means, you'll have everything you need to permanently and immediately cancel your timeshare obligations, all costs, all fees, immediately. That's what we can do for you. That's what we're going to get into this. Let me do this. In order for you to know who we are, you need to know who we're not. We're not a timeshare agency. We're not a real estate company. We're not a listing company. We're not here to sell you anything, more points, more weeks, anything at all. We're not here to list your timeshare. We're not here to sell you anything. We're here to help you get out of your burden. That's what we're doing. See, today we're going to focus on you obtaining the legal assistance to permanently exit your timeshare, all the financial obligations permanently. Now, I know you may be thinking, what do I need an attorney for? Well, the answer to that is that there's no way to get out of this without that. It's the only guaranteed way to get out of your timeshare is with legal assistance. I'm not sure if you've heard of Susie Ormond. She's a consumer advocate. She wrote this: as hard as it is to spend more money, timeshare owners should always use a licensed attorney to get out of their timeshares. And that's because the contracts in timeshares are legally binding. It's like a marriage. The only way to get out of it is in a court of law. That's the only way to get out of these contracts. This is where National Service Corporation comes in. We've got a network of attorneys who use the legal system to get your timeshare obligations directly canceled with your resort developer. That's what we do. We have it because we have experience, 100% experience of working with your timeshare developers, with our attorneys, to get this job done. I'm going to promise you this. I'm not going to badmouth your timeshares because most likely they're beautiful. That's why we signed them in the first place. I'm going to talk to you today about you getting out of these legally. Whether you like them or not, whether you're pleased with them or not, I'm not going to really focus on that. I'm going to focus on how to get you out, how to get you out of the contractual elements that you're now obligated to. Is that okay? Right. For example, when you first bought your timeshare, you were told lots of things. You're probably told things like, it's a great investment and you now own your vacations. You're probably told that you would love your vacations, but not only you, but also your family, your kids, your grandkids, generations to come would also love all these vacations. You're also probably told that you could easily go anywhere you wanted, anytime you wanted, and all the resorts you go to would be at least as beautiful as the one that you're purchasing. You were also, a lot of people were told this, that in years to come, maybe a few years down the road, if you wanted to, your timeshare would increase in value so much that you can easily sell your timeshare for at least as much as you paid for it. And all your vacations would be free up to that point, right? The unfortunate situation is most people find out really quickly that these things do not happen. This isn't the case. Your situation with your timeshare probably isn't as beautiful as what you were told by your timeshare salesperson. I want to really quickly look at 4, I call them timeshare misconceptions, maybe even hidden truths. 4 things that you may not be aware of. Maybe you are, most people aren't. The first one is this: your timeshare should not have been purchased as an investment. There is no resale value whatsoever to your timeshare purchase. When you bought your timeshare, you purchased prepaid vacations. That's what you purchased. It's not a real estate asset. It merely entitles you to usage rights at the times your resort allows you to vacation. That's what you purchased. Second thing is this: you have an ongoing annual fee, in fact multiple fees, subject to inflation every single year. Your annual maintenance fee goes up every year. Double digits, that's the norm, that's not the exception. Double digits, from 12 to 13 to 15, we're pushing 18% now on some. It's absolutely ridiculous. And your resort can also issue you special assessments whenever they want, for whatever reason they deem necessary. Whatever they do to improve your unit, they charge you for that. It's absolutely crazy. Here's an example of the language used in the timeshare contract. It says this: the developer or its representatives may take action or perform work in the timeshares unit without the consent of the owners, and the owners must pay the cost of the action so taken and as performed. It means that we as owners are legally bound to pay any amount of money that the timeshare companies want to charge us when they want to charge us for whatever they want to charge us for. They're going to paint the units, they're going to do carpeting, whatever they're going to do, they do it without our consent and we pay for it. Those are the special assessments that are built into the contract. Here's a third thing. We cannot simply cancel our timeshare contract. We can't do it. Not without legal representation. It's just like a marriage contract. It's legally binding. It can only be broken in a court of law. The fourth thing is this what blows my mind. We can't even give these things back. You can't do it. Timeshare companies will not take the timeshares back. Here's a response from Monarch Grand Vacations. It's in a letter written to one of their less than pleased owners regarding getting back their timeshare. It says this: in summary, it's not just a simple matter of returning the product. You entered into a legally binding contract to purchase. We cannot cancel your vacation plan or transfer it back to the company. And they also added this: please be advised, we do not offer a resale or rental program for our owners. The Wisconsin Department of Consumer Protection recently issued a consumer alert on their website because of this, and it says this: unhappy timeshare owners cannot simply quit, and resorts refuse to take back unwanted memberships. Now hear this: this is because the income generated by annual maintenance fees may be more valuable than the member's title for the supposed real estate. You get that? What's valuable to them is your maintenance fees, your assessment fees, not the property, not the units. That's not important to them, not the title. It's the money they get from you every year that keeps going up and up and up. That's what they care about. That's why they won't take it back. That's why you can't sell them. They want that money. Here's an example. This year, March 31st, 2019, an article in the USA Today told the story of Diamond Resorts selling a $150,000 timeshare to an 89-year-old retired couple with an annual maintenance fee of $19,000. $19,000. That's ridiculous. When the couple figured out what had happened, what they were doing, they were desperate. They tried to cancel it. They refused permission to cancel. They had to borrow against their retirement home to try to get them through this, and they finally got an attorney to get them out of this legally. And this isn't a one-off. It's not just one, it happens all the time. In 2017, Diamond Resorts was forced to pay a large fine to cancel dozens of contracts in a, quote, deceptive practice case brought on by the Attorney General's Office of Arizona. Crazy. It happens all the time. There's also something that I call the inheritance curse. I'm not sure if you know about it. It was presented to us as a wonderful gift we could leave our kids and grandkids, right? Unfortunately, we also leave them the obligation of paying for it, as it gets more and more expensive every single year. Think how expensive it is right now for you. What about 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now with your kids and grandkids paying for this? It's absolutely ridiculous. See, in time, our family will become responsible for all fees, all expenses for the timeshare in perpetuity. And perpetuity is a legal, crafty word that means forever. It's in the contracts, absolutely for in perpetuity. I talked to a man just a couple of days ago. He said, no, my contract's not like that. Mine ends with me. When I pass away, it's done. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah, I'm absolutely positive. He showed me his contract. Second paragraph, deed transfer forever. I said, they didn't even use perpetuity. They use forever right here. You just don't see it. It's in the contract. They want you to have it forever. They pass the obligation to you and your family absolutely forever. I don't want to be the monster that my family down the road looks like and says, that's the guy, look at that picture, that's the guy that burdened us all these years. He put that on my back. I don't want that. I'm sure you don't want that either. But that's the trick they play. That's what they do to us, and it's not right. Here's an obvious question. How can the timeshare resorts force these rising costs onto my family? They didn't sign the contract. I signed the contract. Absolutely true. Unfortunately, when you bought your timeshare, you gave legal authority to the resorts to continue increasing and collecting your maintenance fees forever. It's in the contract. Here's another question. What happens if we or our family or our heirs ever are unable or unwilling to pay for it? I understand the question completely. The timeshare industry has a common legal approach to deal with timeshare owners who opt out of paying. To cover their collection and legal actions against you, this contractual language is what they use in most contracts. It says this: after judgment, meaning lawsuit, they will sue you. After judgment, purchaser may be subject to garnishment of salary or levy on any property that the purchaser owns, and subject to delinquency judgment, meaning more payment. We have the right to take a default judgment against purchaser if fees or taxes are not paid for any reason. This means if you opt out without legal intervention, they will go after your assets, your home, your cars, your salary, your kids' salaries, whatever they can go after you to recoup the money they believe that they are losing. That's in the contracts. Sneaky little places, but it's in there. Then there's something I mentioned already, but it's special assessment fees. We're seeing more and more of these as we talk to people. It's absolutely ridiculous. Cape Cod Holiday Estates, the Oceans Club at Smuggler's Beach, The Point, these resorts all issued special assessments just recently, and they're all over $2,000. $2,000 for random fee assessed to people who own their timeshare units. They decide to do something to your unit, didn't check with you, but they charge it to you. It happens all the time. Festiva Resorts, Clubland, a host of other companies have had multiple assessments in the last few years. It's absolutely ridiculous. None of these owners had any idea they're going to get an extra bill until it arrived in a mailbox. In the case of the Point Resorts, the last assessment they gave was $5,800. No one knew it was coming. I can't imagine getting a bill like that mailed out knowing it's coming. It would ruin at least my year, who knows how much. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not sure if you've heard of Dave Ramsey, have you? Dave Ramsey's the man. He makes me feel ignorant when it comes to finances. He is brilliant. He talks, he's a TV host, radio host, he's got great books. I don't do anything financially unless I read what he says about it. We've got a little video real quick, David Ramsey talking about timeshares.
I think they're crummy investment, and I recommend to my listeners never to buy a timeshare. And the reason is real simple. It's not an investment. An investment gives the idea that you could actually sell it, and you can't give the stupid things away once you own one of them. They're absolutely horrible. All you're doing is prepaying your hotel bill for the next 20 years right now in advance. And those of us that know anything about money know you'd be better off to put that money in an investment, and the investment would produce enough to pay your hotel.
Exactly. He also says this: of the people who call the Dave Ramsey Show, I would say we have a 98% dissatisfaction with them, and they can't get rid of these. They pay $14,000, $15,000, $20,000. They're paying maintenance fees every year, and it's a mess in their lives. I know my sister, it was horrible. They're absolutely a mess in people's lives. I can guess from your experience it's the same thing. Now how about this? How about timeshare rentals? I'm not sure if you've looked into this or you've heard about this. It's another little trick that's out there. Originally, you had to be a timeshare owner to use the facilities or any of the amenities. You had to be an owner of a timeshare. That's why you did it in the first place, right? It's a beautiful hotel, beautiful place, love the resort. I want to do this. Only a timeshare owner can use these weeks in these units. But now, today, over 4 million units a year are made available to the general public at ridiculously low cost. And various websites, travel websites, have these on their websites. And it's sanctioned by your resort developers. They're the ones letting them do that. You can't do it without their permission. They're getting permission from these companies, these sites, to do exactly that. You can go online right now and you can check and see for yourself. They're being rented every single day, all over the place. I've had owners tell me that they've been told that there's no availability for them, for their timeshare, for a couple of weeks they want to go. But then they go online and find that very resort with those weeks available to the public to be purchased. Renting from them. It's absolutely ridiculous. They rent the units for as low as $199 a week. A week? That's not a person or a night, it's a week. For the money we pay in our maintenance fees, most of us, you can stay for 5 or 6 weeks a year at that cost. It's absolutely ridiculous what they're doing to people. It's crazy. It's frustrating, but they're getting away with this all the time. You purchase your timeshare, you pay your maintenance fees, you pay your high interest rate loan, you follow all the rules, and they tell you when you can or can't go on vacation. And then, at their discretion, they rent your unit to the general public at your expense, and you don't get the money, they get the money for your timeshare unit. Organized crime? I mean, my gosh, this is absolutely ridiculous what they're getting away with. Why even own a timeshare? Why not just rent a timeshare from someone who owns one? That's what the people are doing out there. You have no financial obligations, you have no legal obligations, you have nothing at all. Just rent the timeshare online for a lot less than you're paying in maintenance fees, and you're home free. And your kids, your grandkids, they don't have the burden of inheriting this. It's much safer, cheaper, and wiser to go that direction. Getting out of your timeshare, and you can decide when you want to go on vacation and where you want to go and what you want to pay. It's all in your hands again, not in the hands of the timeshare developers. That's the best way to go. Finally, let me talk about this. Timeshare resells. Crazy. There's a lot of companies out there who they'll come to you and say, hey, well, if you want to resell it, we'll list it for you. And then you sign up with them and they charge you a listing fee. Anywhere from maybe $700 to $1,500, who knows? It's whatever they want to charge you. And then you don't hear from them again. They're going to list it for you, right? Who's going to buy it? They're going to list it for you, and it goes on their desk, and it goes from stack to stack, and they never see you or talk to you again. You've lost your money. It's not going to happen. Here's the deal. Here's why that's the case. What's the principle, economic principle for a good market for resale? The demand outweighs the supply, right? There has to be a demand for something. If you have a product or a service, there has to be a demand for it. There has to be a more demand for it than there is a product or service. That's the only way there's a good market. If the supply outweighs the demand, there is no market because you don't have enough product. It's a ridiculous concept, but people are trying to tell people they can resell their timeshare, but there's no market for timeshare resale. There's absolutely none. CNN Money recently published an article entitled "The Timeshare Trap." Here's what it states. It says, once flooded with rising maintenance fees, timeshare owners are struggling to donate, sell, or even give their vacation ownerships away. The reason for this is that the supply far outweighs the demand. It's ridiculous. It's nearly impossible to give your timeshare away, let alone sell your timeshare. Google it yourself. See for yourself. I do it every day just about. At least every day this week I've done it because of these seminars. Go on eBay. Do a search under timeshares for sale. 800 to 1,000 every single day for $1. 800 to 1,000 every single day. I checked it yesterday. There was over 1,000. $1. And the sellers will cover all transfer costs, all closing costs, guarantee all maintenance fees are all taken care of and all up to date. There are some people even offering gift cards to sell it. They're paying people to buy their timeshares, and people just don't want them because there is no resale market for timeshare. You can't sell it. Please listen. Do not listen to any listing agency who says they want to sell it for you. They can't do it. Again, we had a person just yesterday that I talked to, whose wife did it, who was out of town. She listed it with the agency. It cost her $750 to list it. And he said, I didn't know we were going to do that. He said, what do you think's going to happen? I said, you're going to say goodbye to your money. There's no way it's going to happen. And I explained this whole process to him. It's horrible. It happens all the time. There's a lot of scams out there. Getting out of your timeshare is the most important thing you can do right now. If you're not pleased with it, to get out of it, and then you have your vacations and your money and your family back. That's my suggestion. Okay, one last thing. Let me wrap this up with this. What's the total real cost to you and your family to keep your timeshare? Have you done the numbers? The total real cost for you to just say, I don't want to worry about this. I'm going to keep my timeshare. If you haven't done the numbers, it's staggering. Ridiculously, a crazy amount of money that's going to come out of your bank account, your pocket, and your kids' pockets for years to come. Now, I don't know your personal contracts, your obligations. The transfer consultants who take the information, they're going to handle all that and share that with you. They'll make it all available to you as soon as we're done here. I just want to assure you and let you know that, yes, as Bill said, we have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, at least since 2001, even doing this. We're fully accredited. We have experienced transfer consultants who work with the attorneys to get your job done. And our attorneys specialize in timeshare contract cancellation. And that's what's important. Not every attorney can do this. They have to specialize in this. You're going to get, family counseling, lawyers or business lawyers who they don't specialize in this area. They don't know how to do this. Our attorneys have been doing this for 40 years. They know how to do this. They know how to look at the contract, find the things to point at and say, this is not true, and this is not true, and they can break the contract. 100% guaranteed. They have not lost yet. That's what they do. That's why we're working with them. By the way, the reason you're here is because we know that we can work with your resort company to get you out of your timeshare. We know what you use, who your developers are, and that's what we did. We checked that out. We're very selective. We don't just talk to anyone and say, yeah, we'll do it for you. We don't know. Only the ones that we know for sure that we have worked with before, we can get you out, those are the ones that we take on right away. Because we know we can do it every single time. That's the reason we ask special questions to you guys when you first came or called. Our attorneys take on only the timeshares that they know they can cancel 100% of the time. They don't waste your time. They go after the ones that they know how to do this with. The good news is this. When you enter into an agreement with NSC, you have the opportunity to stop paying all maintenance fees, all taxes, all special assessments immediately. That's your choice. You can do that. Just stop paying. Is then we take it to our attorneys. They do a cease and desist, and they get it all taken care of for you. You don't do a thing. Your assigned consultant, along with the attorney, will handle all of that and tell you exactly what you need to do. And what you need to do is this: nothing. You do nothing. We do everything. Everything that needs to be done to get this taken care of, we do it. Simple one-time fee includes everything involved in this, all the legal research, preparation, negotiations, settlement with the resorts, filing judgments, legal action required, all the documents needed to be signed and filed. We do everything to get the job done for you, period. So now the elephant in the room, right? What's it going to cost? There's always a cost. This is the deal. We have to pay our attorneys to do this. They've been doing this for 40 years. The typical timeshare relief price is $5,995 to get it done. That's a one-time fee. There's no hidden fees, no hidden clauses, no secret language that we have to decipher. That's it. It's done at that point. And I know nobody here wants to spend more money. I get that completely. But we know it takes money to make money. Also, in this situation, unfortunately, with timeshares, it takes money to stop people from stealing our money. And that's what we have to do, make sure that no longer can these people continue taking our money today or for years to come or even from our relatives. It's ridiculous. Does that make sense?
Excuse me.
Say that all over again.
Sure. Let's say it too fast.
Give me those numbers again.
$5,995. $5,995 for, that's a typical price for the cancellation of your timeshare.
Typical.
Yeah.
That's like starting.
Well, if you have a mortgage, it could be different. See, I don't know your situation. So for your timeshare, what we're doing is we can do it. In fact, it's about $69.95 to $8,000 out there right now. We're doing, because we're doing a seminar, at $59.95. If you have a timeshare, you have 1 week, one contract, $59.95. Whatever else you may have, I don't know personally. If you have a mortgage outstanding, if you have more weeks, if you have more points, if you got several contracts, it's different.